Hello, my name is Bram Vernist, Chief Evangelist and co-founder at Chili Publish. Today I'm joined by Thomas from ConDesign. But before we start, what is the first picture that comes into your mind with the word creativity? Most probably the first mental picture relates to artists, architects, painters, creating beautiful pieces of art. In many cases, creativity is linked to visuals. But let me extend creativity for this story. When I started as a developer, I was convinced that crafting a recursive function also was creative. A beautiful small piece of code that could call itself, but leaving us with a brain challenge since they are very difficult to debug. Later, when I got more involved into the business side, I also found beauty in the crafting of processes and workflows. Spending time to find a creative approach also brought me happiness in the dull flowcharts. Today we want to focus on the return on creativity. For me, that is the set of incremental wins you get from optimizing your business in a smart way. Return on creativity will add up to the bigger return on investment. It's about how to be creative and how you deal with workflows, people's, processes, and the set of creative potential you have at your disposal. Being an entrepreneur taught me several things. But since I was never in the business of production of physical goods, I could never find optimizations in faster machines, cheaper supplies, etc. So I had to look elsewhere. In our line of business, that is software, it's all about people. Creative people. People creating software. To create the software they need, well, of course, a mechanical keyboard, an RGB keyboard, and a mouse, a laptop, and a big portion of the right brain. We cannot make anything without people, a very valuable resource. We started this company with very few people. Although these people are brilliant, you can only do so much with 16 hours a day. Yes, you need a few hours of sleep sometimes, even when you're young. So how can you do more? You can hire more people. You can do more with the same people. Let's focus on doing more with the same people. Let me explain the opportunity to invest in creativity to achieve this goal. And my promise is there will be return. Promising return, that is maybe a bold claim. How can I make this claim? First of all, I'm not in sales, so I can make promises. At Chili Publish, customers and partners, we have seen several stories unfold to prove that claim. To start, allowing people to invest time in creativity will improve morale. In return, that will boost marketing, lead creation, and in the end, sales leads. Because let's face it, it's all about the money. Not only cash money, but also mental money, and preferably both. When you implement creativity, your return will be same people doing more things, or the same people doing stuff happier. Do you remember that MasterCard campaign, the brilliant MasterCard campaign? Where in the end, it's not about how much things cost, but that things are priceless. For example, being on time for the baseball game. But to allow your people to go to that game, to be on time for the ballet recital of the kids, we have to find ways to get more stuff done early in the day. So colleagues are done early and can go see the kids. Now that's nicely said, but where's the money? How can I substantiate these claims? Allow me to go practical. Chili Publish is in the business of creative automation. And we see much money is wasted, I dare say, on time gone to waste by having people doing repetitive tasks. We dug into our numbers and the numbers of several projects, partners and customers. The customers we researched are amongst the smallest and biggest names in retail. And, as it turned out, there is a trend leading to a formula to calculate your return on creativity. When investing in creative automation, there will be return in production time reduction and also happiness of people. Measuring the happiness of people, that's easy. That can be done with NPS. We proudly can tell that our score is well over 40 in the recent surveys. Measuring the return in production time gains, that was split in reduction of discussions between people, but also faster pre-production itself. The trend we found is always similar. Then we got a little creative ourselves to put this into a formula. Hold on, let's digest that formula. In our business, we see these steps to create visual output. There's the creative briefing, there's the creative process itself, the creating of the initial files, there's the approval process, since each document needs to be approved by legal, by finance, by whoever. You have to store the files in a repository, a digital asset management system. Users need to download a version to be worked on, then users create a version for their use case, and most likely another approval cycle, and then the final delivery. Assume there is still an error due to manual steps. When delivery is digital, there is a quick fix. But imagine that delivery was printed, a lot of paper, and more stuff is wasted. How can you reduce the time spent in these steps? We call it creative automation. But to get to that point, we need creative people to think about these steps. Where are the elements we can automate? How much time can be spent? Where can we eliminate manual intervention? The creative part is the investment. Creative investment measured in time and probably software. When you allow this to happen, and the process allows itself to be automated, we see similar graph each time. This is also what we see in the numbers we gathered. The more you spend upfront on creative thinking to automate, the less time you'll need in the production. But there is a point where the returns stop growing, the point where you will have the biggest return. At a certain point, there is no reason to invest anymore. Then it's time to implement. This process is optimized. I could go on for a while, but the good thing is that we have Thomas in the house.
Hi, Bram.
Hi, Thomas. Thomas, you work at CanDesign?
Yeah, I'm the product owner custom projects at CanDesign.
All right. So, and I made some bold claims about return on creative automation. Do you see similar stories at CanDesign or maybe at customers?
Yeah, definitely. So also maybe a small introduction of CanDesign.
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
So CanDesign is a creative and branding agency based in Antwerp, Belgium. So it was founded with the idea for creating strong brands. And like we just said, one of the longest partners of Chile. So with what we just heard also, we're ourselves seeing the changes happening on the awareness of benefits in automating artwork and the creative process in general. We now service clients in all kind of different industries. Both companies and creative agencies use these automation steps for themselves or for their clients. The first benefit of artwork automation is best explained with an example of one of our own clients. So Axalta. Axalta, being in the retail paint industry and constantly having to create and update a variety of labels for all of their products, they benefit enormously from the artwork automation that we facilitate for them. Simply because these smart templates are able to create the large number of design variants that they have. And with this, they were able to reduce the time and label creativity production costs by 90%. Indeed, that's 90%. And at Can, we don't only build templates for our own clients, but we also work as consultants with other companies to evaluate, to upgrade their creative workflow, and to implement automation to increase speed and efficiency. For example, we work as template consultants for one of the biggest beverage companies in the world. Because of the great amount of diversity in artwork that they have, not only in languages, but then the different campaigns, the products, all of this together, the repetitive work that they have is enormous. And what we often forget is that the amount of communication and project management that is involved in these creative processes. To get a design approved or even just the elements of a design, let's say imagery, text, slogans, or even font licensing, takes up a huge amount of time and therefore is a really big cost in the creative process. And that time that honestly doesn't really make a lot of designers or managers happy, and it could be better spent on creativity itself. With smart templates, some customers were able to save a six-figure number on project management and communication alone. This is a huge return with a really crucial part of the creative process. Through our own agency and the clients that we service, we see growth in the opportunity and the need for automation in creativity. The biggest stigma here is that agencies and creatives in general are reluctant about this step because they are afraid that they will lose work. Because more efficiency means less time spent, means fewer people necessary. This is completely wrong. More efficiency means more output, less time spent on the same tedious task, and frees up more budget for creative campaigns and investments. Creatives will be able to have more variety within the budget because the pre-media designer can now create smart templates that will handle the endless variants of the same artwork. We strongly believe that agencies who are ready to embrace automation for and with their clients will be light years ahead of other agencies, simply because eventually companies are always searching for ways to be more efficient, and within this efficiency also again explore new opportunities. With a change in mindset, they can have bigger earnings because they can still do the creative campaigns for their clients, but also generate a new income through smart templates and bring eventually more happiness within the creative team.
Thank you, Thomas. Thanks for the great stories. And not only the great stories, but also the numbers. As I promised return, it's good to see that these returns also are present for these companies. If you have similar stories to these, we'd love to hear them. If you don't have them, then it's time for you to start experimenting. But where should you start? Start small. Look into your organization where people do repetitive tasks. We see this a lot with the creation of visual artwork, but your application might be completely different. Find your partner in crime in the company to allow a creation of a proof of concept. And don't hesitate to reach out to software vendors and consultants to help you out with the concept. There are a lot of experienced people that can help you out, but my 2 cents would be to start on your own first, and then see what you can do with bringing in the troops. Don't forget to measure. Measure the starting point, how much time is spent on a job, and how many of these jobs are executed. Challenge a few people to think outside of the box. How to improve the process. And for each approach, allow them to execute, but they need to measure the time spent in the process to think about what needs to change, and also the time saved in the repetitive tasks. In the end, compare the numbers. How much time did you save? And if several approaches bring similar time savings, let the people choose themselves. They will choose the process they're proud of, and this will bring happy campers. Next up is to convince your management. Expose the wins you brought, or even better, let the creators shine. Finance will certainly be happy, and other managers will want to join in your success. You will generate an impact in your business. Not only in money, you will also have impacted your team. Happy creatives will bring more return. You'll be able to get campaigns to market faster and enable scaling with reduced operational costs. This sounds like a win-win-win, or is that too many checks in the management term bingo? Anyway, you will end up with innovation, because innovation is the execution of creativity, an expression from Nico Potvin, lightly derived from Theodore Levitt. You see, you can even be creative with quotes. They also evolve in time. How much time will you gain? How big will your return be? Let me know. I believe in the numbers, but I'm not a fortune teller. Your business case will be different than ours, but I love to hear. A few others that implemented creative automation before, customers of ours like Subway, one of the largest beverage producers in the world, like Thomas said, Mars, CanDesign, Airbus, BMW, and the American Cancer Society. They reduced templates from 400 editable PDFs to 7 smart templates. And they reduced visual artwork creation time from 2,000 to 117 hours. That's a reduction of 94%. Money and time that can be spent on things that really matter, especially in their case. Thank you for listening in, and thank you, Thomas, to join us on the webinar.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. If you still have any questions left in the chat, pop them there and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And don't forget to check out the other webinars we have in store for you, and we'll hope to see you in one of the next ones. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.